Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, Counter Spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Alan Ladd starring in an episode of Box 13. This episode, originally broadcast June 26, 1948, that's going to be 75 years ago, Speed to Burn.
Box 13, with the star of Paramount Pictures, Alan Ladd as Dan Holliday.
Box 13, care of the Star Times. I've read your advertisement asking for adventure. I think this will be it. I'm asking you to solve an impossible situation, but one that must be solved. Next Wednesday, drive out on Route 36 at exactly noon. You'll come to a 5-mile speedometer check. Maintain a speed of 72 miles an hour over the distance. You will be passed by a 1938 car going 100 miles per hour. The car will sound its horn. When you hear it, pull over to the side and stop.
When you hear it, pull over to the side and stop. The letter had no signature, but it sounded intriguing. And it became even more so as time went on. That is, what little time there was.
And now, back to Box 13 and Dan Holliday's newest adventure, Speed to Burn.
100 miles an hour? Mr. Holliday, that's dangerous.
Yes, it is, Susie. That's what makes this letter so interesting. I'd like to see a 1938 model to 100.
Why? Isn't it possible?
Possible, yes, but not probable.
Why not?
Susie, in the course of time, things wear out. Even a car has to give up sometime.
Oh, the letter isn't signed.
And that's another thing that tells me to take this on. An unsigned letter, a 1938 car doing 100 per, in an impossible situation that has to be solved. Now, I ask you, Susie, wouldn't that make anyone pick up his ears? At exactly noon that Wednesday, I turned into Highway 36, a long, level stretch of concrete that rimmed out in front of my car, just asking to be burned up. I looked at my speedometer. The needle hung at 60. Up ahead, I saw the first sign on the road shoulder. The sign read, "Start speedometer check here." I stepped on the accelerator and watched the needle pass 60 and move to 65. 68, then 70. Just as the nose of my car pushed over the start of the check run. In my rear view mirror, the road in the back was clear. No cars, no traffic at all. I hit 72 miles per hour and stayed there. The road slipped by underneath, and the scenery on the side was a flashing blur of color. Then I looked in my rearview mirror again, and suddenly there it was. A car that ate up the distance between us as though we were attached by some invisible elastic that pulled us together. And then, before I knew it, it was past me. I pulled up and stopped. Ahead, the car that passed me slowed down, and it also stopped. Then turned around and came back toward me.
Hello.
Hello there.
Hello. You're Box 13?
That's right. And you're the only jet plane pilot I know with no license.
Thank you for coming.
Not at all. I enjoyed every second of it. Hey, what do you feed that car of yours?
May I get in your car?
Oh, please do.
Thank you. I've taken a big chance in doing this, Mr.
Dan Holliday.
My name is Nancy. Nancy Peters.
That is a 1938 model you're driving. And from the looks of it, it's only a 6-cylinder job.
Yes, but I haven't much time. I'll have to talk fast.
Oh, all right, go ahead.
I want you to help my brother.
Is he the impossible situation you mentioned in your letter?
Yes. He has a prison record. And now he's mixed up in something he can't get away from. Will you help?
Oh, now, just a minute, Miss Peters. Your car may do 100 without batting a carburetor, but I work a little slower. Before I do any helping, I'd like to know the 3 W's. Who, what, and where?
Oh, I told you. It's my brother.
That answers the who part. Now, how about what and where?
Stolen cars. That's the what.
One like yours?
That has something to do with it.
Go ahead.
Tom's mixed up in a stolen car syndicate.
Syndicate? It's a business now, huh?
Bigger than anyone realizes.
Why doesn't he get her?
He can't. He's watched night and day. Sometimes I am, too. He didn't know what he was getting into till it was too late.
All right, I'll buy that for now. But it'll take more explanation.
Look, let's go somewhere else and talk. I just wanted to know if you'd be interested.
Well, that car of yours intrigues me. Where do you want to go?
Follow me.
If you promise not to do any stunt flying, I'll be right in back of you. More coffee, Miss Peters?
No, thanks. Are you interested, Mr. Holliday?
Yes.
All right. The syndicate looks like a legitimate business, but it's not. It's tied up with stolen car rackets in every city in the country.
In which case, it's an item for the police or better for the FBI. I suggest you go to them.
I can't do that. My brother would be sent back to prison.
Well, then let him quit.
One man tried it. He was killed.
How do you know?
Tom told me. Mr. Holliday, I don't know who's at the head of the syndicate. I don't know anything about it, but you can find out and help Tom.
And how do I do this?
Will you do it?
Well, I don't know, Miss Peters. Tell me, how did your brother get into this racket?
He's a mechanic. He started to work at the Acme filling station, and it wasn't long before he was offered a job as a mechanic in a big garage in town. Before he knew it, he was in the racket and afraid to go to the police.
Did he try?
Once. Then he saw he was followed. He didn't try again. Not after the other man was killed.
What can I do?
Get a job at the Acme filling station. It was from there that Tom went to the syndicate.
Now, look, Miss Peters, your brother's a mechanic. I'm not. I know just about enough to repair minor injuries. That's all.
That's enough. They need men. The syndicate's getting bigger.
And you want me to increase the organization by one, namely Dan Holliday.
I'll pay you $1,000 if you do.
Oh, no, I don't want any money. This Acme filling station, where is it?
12902 Braddock Road.
All right, I'll see what I can do, but no promises. Meanwhile, how do I get in touch with you?
Oh, here's my name, address, and telephone number.
Okay, Miss Peters. But like I said, no promises. I'd just like to nose around first and see what trouble I can get into. I left Nancy Peters and drove back to the city, got into some old clothes, and took a bus out to Braddock Road. The Acme filling station did business on a three-way corner. From what I could see, it was a good business. I watched for a while until I spotted a man I thought was the boss. I waited until business cooled off a little, then walked over to him.
Hello. Do something for you?
I don't know. Depends on how badly you need help here.
Help? You looking for a job?
Yeah, guess I am.
I saw you standing on the opposite corner looking over here. Thought maybe you was planning a holdup.
No, thanks. That's getting money the hard way. But I saw you hopping around here and figured you could use some help.
I don't know. Know anything about cars?
Oh, a little.
Enough to do minor repairs?
Sure.
Let me see your hands. Hold them out.
Huh?
Just hold them out. You ain't done much hard work in your life, have you?
Oh, not recently, no.
Well, don't think I can use you, bub.
But I need a job.
Try someplace else.
Okay. I was just asking.
What's the matter?
Got a phone here. I want to make a call.
Inside, why?
I just want to make a call, that's all.
Okay, inside, I told you.
It was a hunch, and I played it. The car that drove up was a police car, and I pretended to be afraid of it. I waited inside until the car drove out. Then the boss came in.
Make your call okay?
Yeah, sure.
Had to make that call all of a sudden, didn't you?
I just thought of it.
Oh, sure.
Well, I'll see you later.
Wait a minute. Sit down.
What for?
Maybe we can talk. Wait a second.
What's the idea of closing the door?
We can talk better. Why'd you do a fade when you saw that police car?
I didn't see any police car.
Quit kidding, Bub. You saw it coming and pulled that phony call routine. You hot?
Look, all I did was ask you for a job. Thanks for your time and so long.
Now, take it easy. Sit down again. What's your name?
Make it Holiday, Dan Holiday.
That sounds phony enough. You want a job?
A minute ago, you were tight about that. Now you loosen up. Why?
I like to help people.
Uh-huh. Got a kind face.
You want a job or not?
Doing what?
Handling the pumps, working on the grease rack, lubrication, wash rack, maybe doing some repair work now and then. How about it?
Sounds like a full-time job.
That's what you want, isn't it?
Yeah, it's exactly what I want.
Well, pick up some coveralls in the lockers out back. You start as of now.
So I went to work. And I learned about cars. I rented a room near the station at night, read books on automotive repairs. And I waited. Waited for the next move, which came one morning just after I'd reported for work.
Holiday. Hey, Dan.
Yeah?
Come inside a minute, will you?
Right away. Pull the door shut. What's the trouble?
No trouble at all. You know, you're getting to be a pretty good mechanic.
Well, I learned fast.
There's not quite enough work around here for a good mechanic. I thought maybe you'd like to make more dough.
Do I get a raise?
Not from me. But I can send you to somebody who needs mechanics. Needs them bad.
Thanks. Who's the guy and where is he?
You go to 714 South Elm, to the Southern Auto Works. And here, give him this card.
So, you're the guy Marty sends along, huh?
That's right. He gave me this card to give you.
Yeah. Okay. My name is Mike. Follow me.
Sure. Kind of busy in here, aren't you?
We keep going. Hey, this way.
I can see why Marty says you need mechanics.
Yeah, you can always use a good one. People crack up their cars and do a million things. Here, go in this door. Good luck, fella.
Have a chair, Holiday.
Oh, thank you.
So you're a mechanic.
Well, that's what Marty says.
And you live at 678 Bender Avenue, and you do a lot of reading at night. I know a lot about you, Dan, more than you think I do.
Like what?
Like the fact that you're a little shy of cops.
I'm not afraid of them.
I didn't say that. I said shy. Say like a guy who's just put in a little time would be. And don't be afraid, Dan. There's nothing to be afraid of.
Look, I took the job at Marty's place because I needed it. But I don't have to be needled by you or anybody else. Maybe I did a stretch. And again, maybe I didn't. It's got nothing to do with the job. So long, Mr. Swanson.
Stay right where you are.
What's the idea?
No idea, Dan. I'm just in need of good mechanics. Marty tells me you're pretty good. Not top-notch, but good enough. Okay, you want a job here?
Doing what?
Automotive repairs. What else?
That's what I asked. What else?
My, you're suspicious. Look, you can take the job or not as you like. Pay you $75 a week on a percentage basis for anything over that in time and work.
I'd look like a chump if I turned that down.
That's right. So I guess you're in, huh?
Like you say, Mr. Swanson. I'm in.
June 26, 1948, 75 years ago, Box 13 starring Alan Ladd on our final Monday edition of Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Our final week of Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite station. Now more of Box 13, June 26, 1948.
And now back to Speed to Burn, another Box 13 adventure with Alan Ladd as Dan Holliday.
Like I said, I was in. But in what? It looked like a legitimate business. The big garage did a roaring trade, and it seemed on the level. Mike, the man who took me to Swanson's office, stuck close to me, so I had no chance to snoop around. Then one day I was called into Swanson's office.
Well, Dan, everything all right?
As far as I know, everything's fine. Why?
Got any objections to working at night?
No, not at all. As long as the pay is time and a half.
It's better than that. It's double.
Special job?
Yeah, you might call it that. How good are you at keeping your mouth closed?
Well, I'm not the talkative type.
I suppose you know you've had a tail on you ever since you've worked here.
No, I didn't know. What's the idea of that?
Well, you're an ex-con.
I thought that was gone by the boards, forgotten.
It is. But it's a funny thing. I've had a check made on you, and I can't find a record of any Dan Holliday serving time anyplace. Got anything to say?
Nothing, except maybe you looked under the wrong name.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Anyway, you've been watched, and so far you're clean.
Look, Mr. Swanson, you got me in here to talk about overtime work. Then you switched to my record. What's your pitch?
Come around tonight at 10 o'clock, the back way.
Just suppose I say no.
Mike's a big guy. Maybe he could persuade you.
Oh, I see. In other words, now that I'm in, I'm really in.
In what, Dan?
Maybe you can answer that better than I can.
Maybe I can. Be here tonight at 10, the back entrance. Mike will see that you get here. Until then, so long, Dan.
Well, it was a tight spot. I couldn't tell whether Swanson knew anything or not. I hadn't made a move to contact Nancy Peters or her brother Tom. But that night, I was to be at the garage at 10 o'clock. At 9:30, Mike came to get me, and 20 minutes later took me down in an elevator, down into the cellar below the big garage. And what I saw made me blink my eyes. Brother, this was a racket on a big scale.
Put your eyes back in your head, Dan. You ain't seen a half of it yet.
Hey, what is this?
The part of the garage nobody sees but them as has business here. Take a good look.
Must be 50 cars in here.
Uh-huh. And all hot.
Stolen?
They ain't presents. If you give them an hour in here, their owners wouldn't know them from a bicycle. Come on, we'll see Swanson.
Come in. Okay, Dan, come on in. Mike, see that things are running all right.
Sure. See you later, Dan.
Well, how do you like it, Dan?
I don't know what I'm supposed to like, but it's big.
And you're in it.
What if I don't want to be?
Oh, and you're a chump. Big pay, no Social Security or withholding tax, and no questions.
Look, I don't want to serve any more time.
You won't. We take care of our boys. Now, look, I need another mechanic badly. There are enough hot cars floating in here in the next 2 weeks to make yourself a pile of dough.
Yeah, but Mr. Swanson...
Holiday. You haven't got a choice. Either take the job or you'll never work again. Any place, any time.
I guess you're calling the turns, Mr. Swanson.
Take it easy. You'll be safe.
Until there's a leak.
There's no leaks here. We're big enough to have our own police force to watch the men who work for us, understand?
Yeah, I think I do. Okay, Mr. Swanson, you've got yourself another boy. And from then on, I was watched closer than all the gold in Fort Knox. It was over a week later that I finally made contact with Tom Peters. Mike took me to him because Tom was to break me in on a new job.
Mike wants you to work on the jalopies, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. I'm Tom Peters. I know you're Dan Holliday.
Yeah. What do I do?
Well, we got 10 hot cars rolling in tonight. They got to be pulled apart for shipping out tomorrow.
That's a little fast, isn't it?
That's nothing. One night we put out 18. Come here. See this paint?
Yeah. Special stuff, huh?
That's right. Washes off with caustic soda. Plain water won't touch it, only caustic soda. We spray a coat of this stuff on the car.
And then what? What about the license plates?
You kidding? Look here. Over 500 license plates from different states. With a new paint job, different plates, even different tires. You wouldn't be able to recognize your own car if you sat in it.
I see. Pretty tight organization, isn't it?
Brother, you don't know how tight. Make a bad move and you're material for a hearse. Well, you're to work on the manufacturer's numbers.
Serial numbers of the motors, huh?
Manufacturer's numbers. Never in the same place twice. Sometimes it's in the carburetor, sometimes in the block. Any one of a dozen different places.
I see. And you tear down the engine, get rid of the number, and there's no chance left for positive identification of the car.
Right. Okay, start tearing this baby down. It's got to roll out on the street by midnight. Let's go to work.
And I worked. And all the while I did, I knew I was being watched. And I think I was even followed when I went home. For 3 nights we kept at it. There wasn't a chance to break loose. Then on the 4th night, Tom Peters came over to me.
Shake loose from that job, Dan. We got a special to do.
Special? Okay, what is it?
Look here.
Are you kidding? This gotta be a hot car.
No, it's not. What's it look like?
Like a broken-down model of 10 years ago. Who wants a crate like this?
Wait a minute. Now, take a look under that hood.
Look at that power plant.
The engine's from a British tank. There's enough power under that hood to make this baby climb right up the side of a building.
I don't get it. Why put that motor in this old job?
Look underneath. At the springs.
Springs are upside down.
Sure, for a low center of gravity. And the body of the crate's lined with armor plate. And it's got bulletproof glass throughout.
What are these things inside? Oh, extra gas tanks.
This is a getaway car, special built. We parked this in front of a bank and no cop would take a second look at it. But no other car made can get near it for speed or power.
Now that's real neat. Well, looks like the boys think of everything, don't they?
They don't miss.
You know, I'll bet anyone could take a 1938 car and hop it up with one of these motors.
Sure, why not? The year don't make no difference.
Even a girl could drive one.
Sure, why?
One her brother put together for her before he got into this racket.
Girl? 1938? What'd you say that for?
Take it easy, Tom.
What are you driving at?
June 26, 1948, Box 13 on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Just going to take a minute here to tell you about the big savings going on now, the clearance sale at mypillow.com. And you know, I've talked about how in my office I have a pair of my slippers, and they're really comfortable, and they're on clearance right now. The mypillow.com slippers, $25 a pair, limit 10. And I would buy 3 or 4 more pairs. Unfortunately, they're out of my size. They also have sheets, pillowcases, clothing items, all on special right now. Go to mypillow.com, click on the clearance tab at the top of the page, use my promo code Wyatt, or call 1-800-928-4715. Limited sizes remaining in the MyPillow slippers, limited colors on other items. mypillow.com, clearance tab, promo code Wyatt, 1-800-928-4715. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite station. Now the conclusion of Box 13 starring Alan Ladd. June 23rd, 1948, 75 years ago today.
Nancy, your sister?
What about her?
She got me in here to get you out.
Oh, look, she's crazy. You're crazy. This is a tight box.
You want to get out?
Cut it out, Dan. You're asking for trouble.
Look, together we can break this racket.
Look, there's not a chance.
Hold it. Here comes Mike.
Hey, what are you guys gabbing for?
Just looking over this job, Mike. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Well, get it in shape. Some of the boys want it for a heist job tonight. You got an hour to work it over.
Heist job?
Yeah, they're knocking over a bank.
Okay, help me, Tom, and I'll help you when we get out of this.
Listen, don't you think I'd have made a break before now? They got me going and coming.
And I'll do it.
They're watching you every minute.
That's the chance I have to take. Where's your lunch pail?
Lunch pail? Have you gone nuts?
Just give it to me. You drink coffee, don't you?
Sure. With cream and sugar. You happy now?
Tom, that makes me very happy. Later that night, when I was through working, I left the garage. I tried to phone Nancy Peters 3 times, but she was out. The last time, I left a message for her to meet me in the lobby of a movie. I went there hoping I'd shaken my shadow off my trail. Fortunately, she got my message. And I told her to call the FBI, to give them the address of the garage, 714 South Elm, and to make it fast because there was no time to lose. Then I walked out of the lobby and into the street. I looked back. Nancy Peters was going toward a phone booth in the theater lobby. I was about to walk to my room when...
Enjoy the picture, Holiday?
Mike.
Yeah, Mike. Funny about you. You bought a ticket, walked in, talked with that dame, came right out again.
I remembered I'd seen the movie before.
Sure. Who was the dame?
What are you talking about?
The dame. Who was she? What did you say to her?
Look, Mike, that's my personal business.
Then it's mine, too. She went to a phone booth inside.
Can I help it if some girl wants to use a phone?
Yeah, I figure you can. Now, come on. We're going to Swanson.
All right, Dan, who was the girl? What'd you say?
I never saw her before in my life.
Just a chance acquaintance, huh?
You could call it that.
You're lying.
All right, you know everything.
Not quite, but I... Wait a minute. Suppose your name is Dan Holliday.
Suppose it is.
I got an idea. Sit still while I look through the phone book. Funny, I never thought of this before. Let's see. Holliday Dan. Well, you're in the phone book. There's only one Dan Holliday.
That makes me unique among the Holidays. What does it make you?
Not a sucker, Holliday. Sit still, make a move, and I'll make a nice round hole in your head with this. Now we'll see.
Kenworth Apartments?
Mr. Dan Holliday, please.
Mr. Holliday isn't in.
Oh? Is he out of town, do you know?
Who's calling, please?
An old friend, Mr. Swanson.
Oh, well, Mr. Swanson, Mr. Holliday's been gone for almost 2 weeks.
Is that so? Well, thank you. Thank you very much. You've been gone 2 weeks, Holliday. It just about ties in with the time you've been here.
Okay, Swanson, so I'm in the phone book, and you found out I'm not at my apartment. What does that prove?
That's what I'm going to find out. And if I...
Boss, there's a raid coming our way. The tip-off boys just flashed the red.
All right, move the hot cars out back. Get all you can. Notify all branches we're shipping a load tonight. Tell the drivers to take the ones that aren't ready and run them in the river. Right. Holliday, you're going with me. Get going.
That dirty thing do the job?
Yeah, come on. Getaway car in shape?
Yeah, it's all set.
Now, Holliday, you're going to see why we're never caught.
What's wrong, Mr. Swanson?
We have a stoolie with us, Peters.
Stoolie? But...
That's right, Peters. A stoolie.
Clear out. There's a raid coming. Mike, warm up the car.
Sure. Yeah, she's okay. Nothing to worry about.
In, Holliday. Get in.
Okay, you're the boss.
Let's go, Mike. Up the ramp.
Right.
Play with him, Mike. Let Holliday see how good we really are.
But, boss!
You heard me. And I'm almost catch up to us. And Holliday, don't duck when you hear shooting. They can't touch us in this. Besides, I want to save you for myself.
They're right on our taillight, boss.
They might as well be using pea shooters.
Never get out of the city, Swanson.
Now, show them what we can do, Mike. Get away.
Yeah.
Holliday, they're almost standing still. Okay, Mike, head for the state line.
Hey, something's gone haywire.
What's the matter? You said this car was in shape.
Yeah, it was.
Get going, you idiot.
I can't get my car out. The engine's going dead.
Run on a curb. We'll make a run for it. Pull in, Mike. Pull in.
Oh, no, you don't.
Hey, Mike, help me.
You dirty rat, you.
Gee, you're all right, aren't you, Mr. Holliday?
Oh, sure, Susie. Just some minor cuts and bruises.
What happened?
Well, Mr. Swanson took his eyes off me for a second. That was enough. I grabbed his gun.
Jeepers. But what happened to the car?
Susie, put enough sugar in the gas tank of any car and it'll give up and die real soon. You see, it clogs the feed line.
Oh.
I took the sugar from Tom's lunch pail.
Now, that was real smart. But how did you know you were going to be in the car?
Well, I didn't. I planned to wreck the bank job. But as they say in books, sometimes things work out differently. And for the best.
What about Tom Peters?
He's all right. He was roped in. Fear made him stay. Hey, Susie, how about some coffee?
Oh, sure. Right here. Cream?
Thanks.
Sugar?
Lots of it, Susie. Lots of it. I just love sugar.
Listen in again next week when, through the courtesy of Paramount Pictures, Alan Ladd stars as Dan Holliday in Box 13. Box 13 is directed by Richard Sandville, with this week's story written by Albert Wagner from an original story by Bernard Fine. Original music is composed and conducted by Rudy Schrager, and the part of Susie is played by Sylvia Picker. Vern Karstensen is in charge of production. This is a Mayfair production from Hollywood. Watch for Alan Ladd in his latest Paramount picture.
June 26, 1948, Box 13 on this final Monday Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, we go to Pine Ridge, Arkansas. An episode of Lum and Abner provided by Ted at RadioMemories.com, fully restored. Do we have a crime going on in Pine Ridge? We'll see. This episode of Lum and Abner, June 26, 1935. Of course, dealing with Squire Skimp, you know.
Howdy, everybody. Here we are, all ready to take you down to Pine Ridge for another visit with Lum and Abner. Brought to you by the makers of Horlicks, the original malted milk. And now, let's see what's happening down in Pine Ridge. Well, it appears that the accident Squire Skimp suffered at the Pine Ridge Planetarium Monday night was more serious than first thought. Even though Dr. Miller's examination failed to reveal anything gravely wrong, Squire is still confined to his bed and reported to be suffering great pain. Lum and Abner are very much concerned over the accident. And as we look in on Pine Ridge today, we find Lum and Grandpappy Spears down at the Jot 'em Down store discussing it. Listen.
Oh, yeah, it's too bad it had to happen. Special to Squire. And I still don't see how he could got that bad hurt just falling there in the aisle that way. Well, I was talking to Doc Miller this morning about that. He says in all his years of practice, that's one of the strangest cases he's ever handled. Well, says he examined Squire and looked him over good and he can't find a thing in the world wrong with him. But Squire says he's hurt his spinal column or something like that. Doc says there ain't no way hardly to tell about such as that for sure. Ain't no telling just how much Squire has suffered with that. He told Doc he wouldn't go through all that suffering and misery again for $1,000. Me and Abner both just hates it the worst way. Well, of course you do, of course. I reckon some of us ought to go over there and sit with him, sort of cheer him up all we can. I ain't got no use for him, but at a time like this, a body oughtn't to hold no grudges. Well, Doc said yesterday he'd be a heap better if he never had no company or visitors till he gets to feeling a little better. Me and Abner sent a letter over to him yesterday to sort of cheer him up. Well, that was right thoughty of you, Lum. Yeah, we told him we was sorrowful the accident happened in our picture show, and we knowed it was our fault for not having better lights over there to where everybody could see where he was going. Yeah, it is awful dark in there. I noticed that myself. Well, you've got to have it dark in a picture show. We told him not to hesitate about calling on us if there's anything we could do to help him. We felt responsible for the whole thing. Well, I know he appreciated that. Oh, he did, yeah. Yeah, Cedric taking the note over for us, and he said he never seen a feller peerting up like he did when he read it. Said he sat right straight up in bed all the while he was reading it. Well, and again he got done reading it, he folded it up right careful and put it under his pillar. Said that was something he wanted to keep. Now, ain't that the nicest thing you ever heard of? And here it ain't been a week ago he was so mad at us for closing up the picture show of his, he threatened to get revenge on us. Said he'd get even with us if it was the last thing he ever done. Well, a feller says things that way when he's mad that he don't half mean. Oh, yeah. Tell you the truth, I believe Squire sort of had a change of heart anyway here late. Sort of reformed himself. Maybe he thinks he ain't going to get well. Maybe that's the reason he's being so nice. Well, it might be, of course. I know a body will get to thinking over his wrongdoings and shortcomings again he gets down the shadders that way. Oh, yes. I know here a while back when I was down with the fevers there, sort of on a funeral list, you might say. I thought I was a goner, sure. Everybody'd come over to see me when they went to leave. I could tell by the way they shaking my hand they thought I'd never pull through. Well, you was awful low there for a while, Grandpap. Yeah, must have been, for I recollect Ezra Seastrunk come over to see me and sat there and looked me up and down and asked me how tall I was. I knowed right then he just trying to find out what size casket to make for me. Well, some said Ezra done had it made for you. Why, he did, yeah. His young'uns has got it down there on the mill pond now, using it for a boat. Well, I was uneasy about you myself, Grandpap. I done give you up. Oh, I done give myself up for as that goes. Preacher come over there to see me the day I was so low, and I don't know how come he but to do it, but I promised him a big donate if I got well. And then Dad blamed if I didn't do it. And he like to hounded me to death for it. Finally, I had to just tell him I must have been delirious when I said it, sort of talking out of my head. Never knowed what I was saying. Well, you oughtn't have did that, Grandpap. I know it. I don't know how come it ever makes such a promise. Well, what I mean... Oh, wait a minute, there's Cedric now. Huh? Oh. Swan, that boy. Left over 2 hours ago to take a spool of thread over to Sister Simpson's, and it's just now getting back. Well, it oughtn't to take him that long to go just over there and back. Why, no. Oughtn't to take him over 5 minutes. I don't know where he spends his time. It's got to where him or Abner ain't neither one here in the afternoons, and I've got to stay here by myself and run the store. Working my fingers to the bone trying to make a living for us. Of course, it's sort of quiet this afternoon, but yesterday I had a big rush. There was 2 customers in here at once. Me trying to wait on everybody but myself. Howdy, Cedric.
That's the funniest picture I ever seen in my life.
Are you laughing at me and Grandpap sitting here?
Oh, no, Mom. I mean the picture we've got over to the show for tonight. I just got through looking at it.
You mean you went over there and run that moving picture just for yourself and burn up all that electricity?
Well, Mr. Abner told me to. He was over there.
I see. So that's where you been all this time. Whereabouts is Abner?
Why, he was coming. Yeah, yonder he comes. He stopped to talk to Mose Moots a minute.
Well, there's an order sitting over there on the counter, Cedric. It was called in here about an hour ago. You better get it and take it on over there.
Yes, Mom.
And don't be gone all day, neither.
No, Ma, I'll be right back.
Sworn to goodness. If that boy ain't a caution. Over there running that picture just for him and Abner. Granny's tomorrow afternoon. I'm going over there with him. Yeah, glad to find out about that myself. Wait a minute. Did I tell Cedric where to take that order of groceries to? Well, I don't believe you did, Lum. No, sir, I sure never. Now, where does he think he's going? Running out of here, and he don't even know where he's running to. Yeah, you must have scared him, jumping on him about running that picture show.
Well, howdy, man, howdy.
Howdy, Abner. Where have you been all afternoon?
Why, I've been, huh?
You heard what I said.
Yeah, I must have.
Well, where you been?
Well, wait a minute first. Has Cedric been telling you a bunch of stuff that ain't so?
Hey, Mr. Lum. Mr. Lum, who is that order supposed to go to again?
Why, Mrs. Phillips, Luther Phillips' woman.
Oh, yeah, I recollect now. I thought that's who you said.
Oh, Swan, that Cedric can't recollect nothing.
Now, Abner, don't you and Cedric be going over and running them pictures in the afternoon that way. I know about it. Just burning up a lot of electricity for nothing. Can't you wait till night to see it?
Oh, yeah, we ain't gonna run it no more today.
Yeah, I know good and well you ain't.
Oh, me. Well, sir, I've just laughed till my side is hurting. Now you ought to see that picture. It's about a feller that...
Well, don't be telling me about it. I'll see it tonight.
Well, it's a good one, I'll tell you that.
Go tell people that's have to come to the show. Don't be coming over here and telling me. I'll be there anyway.
Yeah, that's right, ain't it?
Abner, did you hear anything from Squire Skimp?
Hear anything from him?
Yeah, did you hear how he's getting along today?
Oh, no, I ain't, Grandpap. He was awful sick yesterday, though, I know that. We heard from Doc Miller yesterday, and he said he was just awful sick man.
Yeah, I heard he was unconscientious there once or
That's
twice.
what Doc said he knowed things that part of the time, and then part of the time he never knowed nothing.
Sort of out of his head, I reckon.
Yeah, poor Squire. I feel awful sorrowful for him, too. Yeah, fine feller, Squire.
Yeah, I wish there was something we could do for him. I feel bad about that.
Well, we wrote him that note yesterday, tell him how sorrowful we felt about it. Cedric said that pierced him up more than anything.
Yeah, Lum was telling me about that, Abner. That's mighty nice of you to do that.
I'm glad we wrote it now, I sure am.
Yeah, we ought to get in touch with him. So why don't you call up over there, Abner, and see if he's feeling like having visitors? If he is, soon as Cedric gets back, why, we can all go over there and sort of cheer him up a little.
Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, go ahead and call him, Abner.
Now, let's see. His ring is,
2 shorts and a long.
Yeah, that's right. 2 shorts and long.
Yeah. If Miss Skimp acts like she'd rather he didn't have no company today, Abner, tell her we'll be over tomorrow.
Yeah, sure. Hello? This Skimp's place?
Yeah, I know it is. That's their ring.
Miss Skimp, this is Abner Peabody talking. Yes, Mom. Why, I'm tolerably well. How are you? How's Squire? Oh, he is? Well, good.
Good what?
She says he's feeling a lot better today.
Oh, well, tell her we'll be over to see him then.
Well, Miss Skimp, me and Lum and Grandpap will be over directly to see him and sort of cheer him up, visit with him a while.
Yeah.
Huh? Or Mom? Oh, he ain't.
Ain't what?
Well, whereabouts is he at?
Huh? He must not be there, according to that.
Well, I do know. Well, he must be feeling better then.
Huh?
Said he went into the county seat today on business, Lum.
Well, I reckon he went in to see the doctor there to have himself x-rated then. Doc Miller says that's the only way in the world he'll ever tell how bad he's hurt.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Did he go in there to see a doctor, Miss Skimp, to have himself examined?
Of course he did.
Oh. Well, I'm glad he's able to be up and around again. Mighty proud to hear it.
He's getting better, that's fine.
Yes, Mom. All right, Miss Skimp. Thank you, Mom. Goodbye.
Is he having himself examined?
I don't know, Lum. She said he went in town there to see a lawyer.
A lawyer?
Yeah.
Oh, for goodness sake, lawyer can't tell him nothing about how bad he's hurt or nothing.
Oh, well, I think he just went in to see a lawyer on business, so.
On business?
Yeah.
Well, I do know. Reckon what kind of trouble he's got himself into now. Must be terribly important for him to get up out of a sick bed to go see a lawyer.
Yes, and it's our guess that the old fellows will soon find out what this urgent business is. This is Carlton Brickert, speaking for Lum and Abner and Horlicks, who now bid you all good night and good health.
June 26, 1935, Lum and Abner on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Visit Ted at radiomemories.com, and he will give you assistance with getting all sorts of great classic radio programs at a very reasonable cost, including getting them on cassette or CD. That's radiomemories.com. Thank this station, support their advertisers, tell your friends the greatest radio shows of all time are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite station.